stand up part.
Oh, please stand. That's right. You didn't practice that. So how about I say that part with you?
Okay.
Please stand.
And if you forget, guess what? I'm sitting right there. Yeah. I'm gonna say, hey, say, please stand. Okay.
We'll do that after you do your little part about praying.
What do that guy has a shotgun?
Hey, come stand over there with me, Tartan.
All right. Thanks, Huck. Did you? We'll let Hayes. I'm gonna sit that right there so that Mr. Wright doesn't trip over.
Salute the flag.
On basketball and deliver sermons. So yeah, I mean, we go off topic. One time we were praying for our hands and our feet, the soccer balls. We were at football, so it's always a treat.
Okay, we'll get started. We'll start with our invocation. Mike Wright with Westminster Church will lead us.
Test. Come on. Let us pray. And as Billy Graham used to say, all heads bowed and all eyes closed. Dear Lord, we praise and glorify your holy name. We thank you for creating the universe based upon universal laws. We thank you for all the blessings you have given us. You have told us that wherever a person plants, they will harvest. Help us to plant good seed in abundance in every area of our lives. Help us to not live by feelings, but live by faith. Tonight we pray for our children, teachers, and administrative personnel. We pray for the parents of the students, and we ask that you give them a great desire to become involved in their children's lives. Dear Lord, tonight I especially pray for the members of the Board of Education. I ask that you give them great wisdom and knowledge. I ask that you help them adhere to the words of your servant, King Solomon, who said in the 29th chapter of the book of Proverbs, where there is no vision, the people perish. Our Heavenly Father, I ask that you give them great vision. Dear Lord, we give you all the honor and glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Mike. Call the meeting to order. Roll call. All members are present, excluding Colonel Little and Dr. Tinius. Takes us to 1B, presentations. Jane Johnson.
And I'm going to have Mrs. Hendry introduce our elementary spotlight student this evening.
Good evening. I'm here to introduce Huck Mauser. Huck is from Prairie View. He's a kindergartner that will be going into first grade next year. He's the son of Josh and Amy Mauser. And one of the things he likes to do at Prairie View is to go to Buffalo Stampede and play with his friends at recess. And he especially likes Buffalo Stampede when his roaming ticket gets chosen for a prize. He plays coach pitch baseball, and he plays basketball through the YMCA. He likes sports, playing outside, YouTube, and going to school. And what he's most proud of is that he gets to go to first grade next year and play on the big playground. So Huck's going to say just a few words about Prairie View. And say what you want to say about Prairie View. No, not yet.
I like about Prairie View is that I like that we like our teachers and we love them and we're their family. And I like about the schools is that the teachers are so nice, and I like how we just chill and have so much fun stuff. And I like how we just have so much fun and do stuff. And I like how our teachers is so nice doing stuff for us and nice stuff.
All right, would you please stand?
Do I salute the pledge?
I have to tell him one more time.
Please stand.
Please stand.
When I tell you, then we'll say, I pledge allegiance. Okay.
What do they blink up?
Yeah, wait. Put your hand over your other hand at the sand.
Present. Hollers.
Ready. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Hollers.
Good job, Huck.
Our secondary spotlight student is from Enid High School, and Mr. Alex Prokopis is going to introduce him.
Well, I'm fortunate. Hello? Check, check. All right. Well, I'm fortunate enough to get to introduce Liam Franklin. I've taught him middle school and high school, and he is a wonderful example and just a consistent role model of what it is to really live the creed here. Constantly a leader, whether it's behind the camera or in front, whether it's him leading on the live streams. If you've seen any of our streams, it's probably his voice you've been hearing lately. So I'm really proud and excited to introduce Liam Franklin, the voice of Enid High School.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Liam Franklin, and I'm a senior at Enid High School. I'm honored to be here tonight as a Spotlight student, and as you know, as Mr. Prokopis just said, I'm part of the EPS TV broadcasting crew, and I've been for about 2 years now. My role has been, as he said, camera operator or play-by-play commentator for Pacer basketball and Pacer and Plainsman soccer. Just a few of the memories I've had from this program is the countless van rides to and from away games, and the countless sing-alongs we've had too with everyone in the crew. And then out of all the games I've called, there's one that's always stayed my favorite, and it was a Pacer basketball game in December of 2022 where they were taking on our rivals, Ponca City. They were down about 20 points at halftime, and they came back and hit a game-winning buzzer beater, my second ever game that I called. And then my favorite game as a camera operator was the Edmond Memorial Football Playoff game in 2022 where it was snowing, and then the Plainsmen won their first playoff game in about 10 years. Some things I'm excited for coming up in the program is next year, as he said, I'll be the voice of EHS sports, starting with Plainsman football in the fall. I'm also excited to help train the new kids coming in this year, and I'm also excited that the program has improved so much over the last about 2 years since I've been in here, and I'm so excited to see how much more it's going to improve. I want to thank Mr. Prokopis for letting me be such a big part of this program. Thank you to my family for supporting me, and then thank you to the board and EHS administration, Mr. Molinax, Mrs. Goulart, Mr. Fitzgerald, Mrs. Rowe, and Mr. Liddell for the opportunities I've been given. Thank you.
Good job, Liam. Look forward to seeing you next year and hearing from you.
And this is my favorite board meeting because it's a whole evening full of recognitions. So our next recognition group is the Enid High School Vocal Music, and Mr. Matthew Johnson will introduce his students and tell us a little bit about their success this year.
So we have 2 awards that we get to present to these seniors tonight, but the first one goes out to all choir kids. We submit all their first semester GPAs to OSSAA, and this year they came back, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but they sent us a plaque, so our combined non-weighted GPA for EHS Vocal Music, all 347, was somewhere between 4.0 and 3.5. So first off, that's really cool, and there's a lot of them out here too. Especially. And then the next is to the group of seniors behind me that could make it tonight. They are part of concert choir, and every year they go compete at OSSA state contests, and they have to, as one class, they have to compete as 3 different ensembles. So most classes compete as one, but our class breaks apart into 3 different groups, and that qualifies them to get the higher achievement awards. And this year they received the OSSA Outstanding Achievement Award, and just really proud of these seniors because I forget they started in COVID mass singing 5 feet apart in our gym. I'm not sure they could hear anything, but they have come a long way and they didn't let it stop them. So I'm just really super proud of them. The seniors that are here with me behind me are Miss Brooklyn Bass. You step forward so you can, yeah, there you go. Mr. Landon Collins. Miss Savannah Crawford. Miss Selena Estrada Root. Miss Amani Penchal. And Miss Hannah Turner. And Mr. Lucas Wood. So again, I'm just really proud of him. If you want to give him a hand, a round of applause.
Our next recognition group this evening is the Enid High JROTC with Sergeant Nelson.
Well, I've been here before. I don't know if this makes sense to anybody, but I'm overwhelmed to be here tonight. Because today I've been thinking about like everybody that deserves recognition. And I want to thank the parents that are involved in our program. My wife's here tonight. Y'all are going to give us a certificate here in a minute, and my name's going to be on it, but I feel like my wife's name should be on it. Because if she wasn't who she is, I wouldn't be able to do, I don't just do JROTC stuff for the high school, so I wouldn't be able to do none of that stuff if it wasn't for her. So I thank her for being here. I thank Colonel Murray because he's the best partner anybody could ever have. And if he ever retires and you guys don't hire the right one, no, he's going to be really hard to replace. We have our national team here tonight to represent us. They went to Daytona Beach. There's two types of nationals. There's the Air Force Nationals, which are in Ohio, and there's the All-Service Nationals, which is just what it is. It's Marines, Navy, Army, Air Force, ROTC, the best in the world. And the reason I say the world is because we have DOD schools overseas that compete at nationals as well. So it's a big deal. We've been twice in the last 3 years, and we placed in the top 5 both of those years. Recently, Tulsa Memorial's instructor retired, and we beat them for the first time at nationals this year, which is awesome because they had the most wins in Oklahoma at nationals. So I was very excited about that for these guys. I know you guys are going to give them certificates, but the Nationals sent me certificates from them, and they don't even know that they're getting certificates from the Nationals. But it says, for participation as a valued team member at the 2024 National High School Drill Team Championships, your demonstrated skills, superior self-discipline, commitment to teamwork, and long hours of, and there was a lot of long hours of practice, resulted in an impressive showing both on and off the drill deck. You are to be commended for your contribution towards such a worthy goal, competing among the finest drill teams in the world. Your conduct and bearing reflects the great pride you have shown in yourselves, your team, your Air Force JROTC unit, and Enid High School. I can't even say anything else because we always talk about this is not about us. It's not about Air Force JROTC. It's about Enid High, and it's about Enid, Oklahoma. I don't care if they go to Chisholm or if they go to here or they go to OBA. Everything that we're doing, we're representing the people of Enid, Oklahoma. And I'm very, very proud of these cadets. Oh, Colton Throckmorton, Emily Roach, Gunnar Dreyer, and Caleb Stringfield are their names.
Colonel Murray, you better get in that picture too. Congratulations. Very proud of you all. Very proud.
Now we have some athletics to brag about. I'm going to ask Coach Dunham to come up, and he is going to talk about his EHS golf state qualifier.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank the Board of Education and administration for recognizing these boys' hard work this year. They certainly went through it, showed a lot of persistence. When they canceled due to rain our first regional tournament to qualify for state, and then later moved it, so we went from Ponca City to Owasso. So these boys showed a lot of hard work throughout the season, but for them to go through that travel over 4 days and then still qualify for state, taking 5th place. And then I'm proud to say, there are roughly 35 6A schools in the state, and this team right here is the top 10. So very proud of these boys. The boys up here now: Mason Haley, Landon Young, Austin Kalo, and David Shepard.
Are we missing Dawson, Coach? Gotcha. Okay.
Conveniently playing golf.
Great season, guys. Good job.
Our next group of state qualifiers was the EHS boys track team with Coach Sears.
Good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to talk about Julius Mitchell. He's our high jumper who qualified. Since I've been the head coach, he's our first high jumper who's qualified since actually we had a female high jumper in 2011. So he's been our first overall high jumper in both girls and boys. Julius placed at every track meet we had this year. He placed 4th at regionals, which was big. And he went to state and actually had a pretty good performance for his first time. So Julius Mitchell, step forward. And then the next 4 are our 4x4 as relay, which is Brady Beerschmidt, Chase Cottarello, Baron Reed, and Carson Nault. The best thing about this, we've been kind of toying with that relay all track season. To get to the state meet, Chase Cottarello hawked a Bixby kid, and he passed him at the last 50 meters, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, especially because it was a kid from Bixby. But when we got to the state meet, we were kind of angry because we should have been in the first. This is the second heat. This second heat is what we call a hot heat, and that's where the fastest teams are. So pretty much the boys went out, they ran angry, and they won their heat, which in that heat was Jinx, Bixby, and Owasso. And so those are our big Division 6A Division 1 rivals, and they ran angry, and it was a great day for us.
Congrats, fellas. Great season. A lot of them coming back next year, too.
Our next recognition is Haley Hibbets, and we're going to let Coach Rogers tell us about her.
Hello. First, I'd like to thank the school board and the administration for kind of putting this on to recognize the athletes for the school. Really, I'm here to introduce Haley, and it's, I don't know, from my standpoint, it's pretty simple. She's a 4.0 student. She's a 3-time state qualifier. She's gotten on the podium all 3 years. She is the girl that does all the extras. She plays tournaments in the summer. She plays them all the time. It's not just about in season for high school. She does everything that you would want an athlete to do. Any coach would be lucky to have her on a team, and she would be successful at whatever sport she plays. I'm just lucky enough that she's on the tennis team. So, you know, she's going to be here. We got some new courts being built, and we're excited about those, and also would like to thank you guys for all that support. But really, it's about Haley and the things that she does. She's, like I said, a wonderful athlete and a great person. And so here we go.
Congratulations, Haley. One more year.
Our baseball team was unable to be here this evening. So on to Coach Mansfield, Coach Cox, Coach Jensen, and Coach Dunham. And they're going to talk and tell us about their 101 Classic Bowl teammates.
Good evening. I get the pleasure of introducing 4 of our athletes, 2 from baseball, 2 from football, that will be competing in Woodward for their respective sports for their selection on the Classic Bowl teams. For baseball, we have Cooper Jarnigan and Garrett Scholl. They will be playing Monday, May 21st or 27th at 7 p.m. out at Woodward. And our football players, Britton Combs and Brock Sullivan, will be playing Saturday, June 1st at 7:30. All this will be happening at Woodward during the Classic Bowl All-Star Games. So, is it Coach Cox? Coach Cox.
Good evening. I first would like to thank everyone that is here tonight to show support for our students. That's super important, and I appreciate you guys. There's so many incredible kids here this evening. It's my great honor to introduce 2 of them as their coach, Emmeline Holland and Briley Cox. Both of these girls were selected to represent EHS Palm for the 2024 Classic Bowl Honor Squad. And this year, I was told by the director that there were more nominees to select from than any year before in the history of the Classic Bowl. So I feel like having 2 seniors selected for this event speaks for itself. Both girls excel in and out of Palm. They are exceptional leaders and role models, and have left a lasting impact as seniors on Enid Palm. They're not only teammates, but also best friends, and I am grateful that they will have one last opportunity to palm together and represent us at the Classic Bowl this summer.
Congrats, girls. We'll see you at Woodward.
Coach Jensen.
Good evening, everybody. Cameron Patterson over here was able to join us this evening. Not able to be here was Caitlin Bezdacek and Chloe Robinson. All 3 have been selected to play Monday afternoon, in the K101 softball game. And, you know, those 3 have been with me for 4 years since I've taken the job, and it's pretty special for me to be able to coach in this game and send them out properly. They've given a lot to the program and really to the school and to the district, really getting things turned around, and very grateful for them. But Caitlin Bezdacek is going to further her softball career at Northwestern. Chloe Robinson is going to Central Methodist in Missouri. And then Cameron is going to choose to focus on her studies at the University of Arkansas. I think she's undecided, but possibly NICU nurse is in the forecast, I think. She's talked about that. But I've been given specific instructions not to ask her to talk, but they all like to talk until it's not time to talk. So anyway, I want to congratulate all three of them, but Cameron for being here tonight.
Congrats, Cameron. And you spoke well the other night at graduation. You did a great job there.
And Coach Dunham.
All right, again, I'd like to thank the Board of Education and Administration for recognizing Stella Stanley for her nomination to the K101 Golf Tournament over at Boiling Springs on May 28th. A little bit about Stella. I was fortunate enough to get to coach her in softball before I took over the golf team. The golf course, I don't know that I've seen anyone work near as hard as Stella does. I mean, I've got some of the boys that do, but she usually does a pretty good job keeping up with them. So really proud of her. I'm excited for her to get to go and represent Enid High School over at Boiling Springs. It is a tough course, so I hope you're ready. A little more, Stella is going on to University of Oklahoma, biology and English literature, double major, it sounds like. So sounds like she's going to be pretty busy. So we're very excited for her.
Our next recognition is Emerson Middle School. They were named as Special Olympics Banner School, and I'm going to let them tell us what that means.
Miss Heathman decided to desert me and stay in her seat, so that's okay. That's all right. I'm Dee Dee Brown. I am the Special Olympics coach for Emerson Special Olympics, and a couple years ago, I started or became part of the Unified Champion Schools. So what that entails is unifying the whole school together, making sure that we're all working together as one and trying to prevent bullying. We have monthly challenges where sometimes it's just different. I don't know. One time we had an advisory challenge and the students had to buy mustaches. It was a fundraiser for Special Olympics. And when you walked into Emerson, our wall was full of mustaches. So it was an exciting time, and the kids had fun with it. It unites all the teachers, it unites all the students, and it's been a real pleasure to try to make sure that this is continued. And with this being year 2 and to be selected as a banner school, I was shocked whenever I got the email. So hopefully we can continue it. Thank you.
Good job, Ms. Brown. Good job, Ms. Heathman. And thank you for being here.
And at this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Linda DeZalio and Dr. Sheffield to join Dr. Darrow and Mr. Mance over here so we can take some photos while we announce our GE schools. There are 3 different categories. So we have our transitional schools. You want to talk a little bit first? Yes?
I just want to say hello.
Well, come on.
It's been a long night, but you've got a lot to celebrate in Enid. I just want to thank you for the joy of being able to come tonight and share with you the status of every single one of your schools regarding Great Expectations. Enid is a school district of excellence, and President Lyndon B. Johnson said the noblest search is the search for excellence, and that is what Enid Public Schools is all about, the search for excellence.
Thank you, Dr. DeZolo. And our 3 transitional schools, I'm just going to try and talk loud without the microphone, and I'll probably be in trouble from IT. But Glenwood Elementary School received transitional status. Do we have a representative from Glenwood here tonight? Okay. Enid High School. Oh, they all bailed on me. And Lincoln Alternative. Okay, well, they all bailed on me. They're in trouble. They will be in trouble tomorrow. Yeah, you know. Oh, slackers. And I had a whole bunch for Enid High just a minute ago. All right, our progressive schools are Emerson Middle School. All right, get in there in the middle, and we're gonna take some. That's a big deal. We're proud of you. All right, look over here at Miss Becky. McKinley Elementary School. And Monroe Elementary School. All right, and our model schools. First is Adams Elementary School. Miss Castellanos. Plaque, yes ma'am. All right, next is the Carver, Fowler, and Garfield. So I'm going to have Miss Rader come get Garfield. And Alex, I'm going to have you come join us for the Fowler part of this other. Oh, yeah, let's go. I'll hold that one too. Thank you. Thank you. All right, and then Eisenhower Elementary School, Miss Murphy. You wanna, that'd be great. Thank you. And our next school is Coolidge. Oh, yeah, you can. All right, well, Miss Sarah's up there, since you're going to be the new principal at Glenwood, we will give you the certificate. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you got, yeah. There you go. Your goal is model. Our next school is Hayes Elementary School. She's saving my knee a few steps. And our next school, Hoover Elementary School. Nothing better than a Hoover Hornet holding the certificate. Our next school, Taft Elementary School. Mr. Kappas. Okay. And we're going to jump to the middle schools, Longfellow Middle School. And they get their plaque to the They brought the whole team. Because it's Instagram that's picky. All right, we got a squish.
I don't know. Okay. I got you. Okay, I think we're good.
Awesome. And our last school to recognize, because I appreciate my Vanna, Prairie View. Prairie View. She was my Vanna, you know, so. Thank you. And then we have one more recognition for the evening, and that is Dr. Angela Rhodes. OASA District 3 Assistant Principal of the Year. Oh, I even had it written right there. Okay, well, you know. He does wear many hats. Assistant Superintendent. Sorry. I'm tired. You won. That's the main part. Thank you. All right. I get to sit now. And 38 minutes.
Congrats,
That's faster
Dr.
than
Rhodes.
Sam anticipated.
You were saying
There's no audience to visitors, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Then we want to jump down to the superintendent's report.
Take it away.
All right. 37 minutes. I will try to get my portion done under that. First thing I want to talk about is summer school, and Mrs. Leslie Wickert's here. Ms. Wickert's got a handout for everybody as well. It should be there, and it should be hitting a few of the high points. Just want to remind everyone that we're starting summer school a week from tomorrow, and just about every school site is having summer school tuition free whilst we're feeding our kids there. We're going to be offering extended year school services for our special needs kids, elementary, middle school, and high school. Ms. Wickert, I'll turn it over to you.
That's fine. So around February, we have a district committee that meets to decide what services we're going to provide for this extended year. So as you can see on the front page, it's just kind of a summary. Enid High School in Lincoln, of course, Mr. Mullinex is the high school contact. And Lincoln, of course, Mr. Parker. And then we do offer special education at Garfield for all kids that are enrolled or that choose to participate. And then, of course, Enid High. And then the federal programs section that is offered, again, this is all offered, so this is to pretty much every site. So you can kind of see the locations. We have Garfield and Prairie View are the elementary sites. You can see the sites that feed into them below. And then Emerson, Longfellow, Waller. And then 8th grade last year, we did a transition year at Enid High, but we decided to keep it at 8th grade this year, basically kind of due to numbers at the high school. And then, of course, the child nutrition at the locations are at the bottom. And then if you turn it over, this is what our current enrollment is as of today. As you can see, Eisenhower, of course, they have the small population, so they have a small number that participates, but they do get to participate. Of course, we have all students that are enrolled. And then you can see Emerson, it is offered at Emerson, but we had a low enrollment, so those students are offered to go to either Waller or Longfellow to receive the services. So we don't necessarily just kick them out, not allow Emerson to have anything, but they are, we offer them to go to Longfellow or Waller. Be honest with you, middle school's hard. Middle school, summer school is hard. Once they leave, they don't want to come back. And a lot of times those middle school kids are watching the younger siblings while parents are at work. So that's kind of why our enrollment's low at the middle schools. And then at the bottom is briefly our enrollment at the high school as of now. Mr. Molnix told me we have about 100 high school students enrolled on target to earn about 250 credits. And he anticipates many walk-ins on that first day. We try to get them in so we have kind of a number so we can hire staff. But then again, we all have staff on standby in case we need to bring some in. And that's for the elementary too. We do have some on a waiting list right now, but I'm short-staffed. So we kind of wait to see with the whites of their eyes before we start bringing in staff and making some adjustments. Any questions?
Perfect. Thank you, Ms. Wicker, for being here this evening. Thank you. Thanks for organizing this as well. Okay, it takes us to item B, VOAG program, and Dr. Rhodes, please chime in if I miss anything. But we've had to shift our VOAG, our next VOAG meeting to May 28th, and that's just because of a scheduling conflict with Mr. Hager. He's trying to wrap up his duties up there in Kansas, and he'll be down here and start July 1. But since the last board meeting, we've ordered and received our virtual welding machine. That's in place and ready to go. And a special thanks to Koch Industries. They donated a lot of money for that piece of equipment, so that's really nice to have a partner with a local industry like that. We've bought the curriculum for the classes. The curriculum is being shipped to us now, and right now we've got about 90 kids pre-enrolled for those VOAG classes. Wait to see how it actually shakes out, how the schedules fit in. But anyways, optimistic, and like I said, we've got a meeting next week. Anything I missed, Dr. Rhodes? Assistant Superintendent? Not? Okay. No, you're not. But it's going very nicely, and really looking forward to Mr. Hager getting here and taking it off. Okay, it takes us to item C. Dr. Robinson and Mr. Rader, please help me with this. I'd like to kind of just recap what we went through last Tuesday. We had the Department of Defense here, and Nicole Painter's here this evening. She was part of that process as well. The Department of Defense stayed most of all the day with us from about 9 a.m. to 2:30, and they went over our our proposal. And we are going to have to modify our proposal a little bit. Some of the things they want to see is more specifics on energy efficiency, tornado shelter, how many of our military students are transferring out to like a Prairie View, how many of your students are actually transferring in. So we're going to work on that. We're going to get that proposal resubmitted hopefully by the end of the week. I just want to remind everybody this is the proposal, and then once we get that done, then we go to the application. And we've been told that we're in really good shape. We've been told that we're right on target. It's just takes a lot of time, I will say that. Also, we had a very good discussion on, right now we're just doing one application for the design portion. And we said, would this speed up if we just did one for the design and build all together? And they were pretty adamant. They said, no, just keep your design application, then you can do your build application. It wouldn't expedite the process. I would love to do it. I know Dr. Robinson and Randy would like to do this ASAP, but we're still just checking the boxes. Anything I missed, guys? Nicole, anything I missed? So we'll get it resubmitted by the end of the week and hopefully get some good news sooner. But
Do we have a timeline, an expectation, anything like that?
Oh, I would love to give you a definite answer, and I pressed them on that pretty hard. I said we're ready to go. We want to move on this faster, and they just kind of kept slow playing us a little bit professionally. They just said, hey, let's get us clean up this portion, resubmit it, and we'll see where we're at. So I would hope by July 1. I would hope. That would be nice if we get it by July 1, but I don't have a definite answer yet. So sorry, but we're still pushing forward. And again, I just want to say too, they were multiple times they said we were really very complimentary about us as a district, very complimentary about our proposal, very complimentary about where we're at. It is very apparent it's just a little slower than what we're used to. So. Yeah. Okay, takes us to item D. Bond update, just want to talk to everybody real quick about that. We know we had this special board meeting back on May 8th and called for those bonds, and we have not received the actual money yet. We're probably a month out is what Dr. Robinson anticipates. Although we don't have the money yet, we've got a really good plan to spend the money. And we've already got a contract in place for those iPads with the pre-Ks, kindergartners and first graders, and also with the Chromebooks, grades 2nd through 12th. That'll take care of the technology portion of the bond. The transportation, we've got 2 yellow buses ordered and ready to go there. And the last portion, you should have a handout there in your area, and that is really going to be specifically for our safety and security cameras. And we're going to spend well over the $200,000 that we've gotten bond money towards upgrading our external cameras at all the school sites. You know, I'd love to. We're going to make a lot of great strides with this. We're going to expand specifically at a lot of the elementaries. It's really difficult though. You know, we put a lot of money into this, and where do you stop? You know, you always want one more camera on this hallway, but we feel like we've got a good plan in place, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about this, but we feel very good about it. Dr. Robinson, Randy, Angela, very good. Any questions? Okay, we'll get that money spent, and the goal is to have all this done by August 1 if possible for our kids. All right, next on the report is Park Avenue Thrift. I just want to give them publicly, I just want to give them a shout out. They recently sponsored 3 of our schools for grants, Coolidge. They were going to do some cooking curriculum with their teachers. Garfield was a big one. It's $20,000 for an outdoor track and an outdoor learning classroom. And then Longfellow is going to have a LIVE program, which students actually track their academics and their behavior. So to the people at Park Avenue across the street, a big thank you for that and sponsoring our schools. That takes me to item F, and happy to entertain any questions you guys have about this. And executive leadership team, please chime in any gaps that I leave here. But the strategic plan, it's been about 10 years since we've updated our strategic plan, and I think we could all agree that in 10 years our district's changed a little bit. And so what we would like to do is enter an agreement when we start in July 1 to start updating our strategic plan and really start data digging into what has changed in our district, what our projections are, where we want to be. Specifically, I think the next big thing we need to start thinking about having conversations about is, we have these 3 bond issues that are on the books to go off in 33, and we need to start having conversations about what are our next projects going to look like to keep where we don't lose any of our positive momentum. So working with OSSBA, you've got a packet there that's got some information to kind of what they do. They come in, they ask a lot of questions, they do a lot of data digging, and they have a lot of conversations and just try to get the pulse and the vision. Somebody, I think it was Mr. Wright, said earlier about vision for the district, and that's exactly what we're looking for, is to have a consolidated vision and something we can work for. Team, anything I've missed on that? Covered? Good process, and just it's time to redo it. Not redo it, but just update it, I guess. Be better. Any questions from the board? So there's some stuff there for you to read about, but time-wise, we'll be looking to bring this back to the board in June to seek your approval, and then we'll be looking to start this with a July 1 start date, so FY25. Okay, Item G, you've got a senior, not just senior, but end of year events for the secondary there at your area. And I just want to, while I'm speaking, I just want to publicly say a big thank you to Colton Q and the guys and ladies out at the Garfield County Expo Center. That was a great evening, and we're so very fortunate to have that as a backup. And of course, the weather wasn't working with us that night of graduation, and it was a wonderful event. So we've got that date reserved, and we can have that discussion later. But the day is going to be, what is that, Chad? May 15th. So it'll be Thursday, May 15th, last day of school, and we'll either have graduation at Selby or the Expo Center. And the board members, I just want to tell you thank you for being there that night. That was always a momentous occasion for all of our parents and families, and so thank you guys for that. All right, I'll keep moving down. Just a quick reminder, I've sent you a couple emails with this. COSA is going to have the leadership conference this coming June 12th, 13th, and 14th. Two really cool things about that is Dr. Rhodes getting an award that evening, as we just recognized her for. That'll be Thursday evening. And then also Leslie Wickert, who spoke earlier tonight, will be presenting on federal programs. So it's a good representation for Enid Public Schools, and I will be attending that as well. Going down to item I want to talk to you a little bit about the Great Land Run this year. The Great Land Run is actually set for September 21st. Couple big changes with the Great Land Run. Number one is that Triangle Insurance has stepped out, and they're not going to sponsor Great Land Run this year, although Koch Industries, the Koch plant, has stepped up and said they'd like to partner with the Great Land Run. So it'll be Weimer Brownlee and Koch is going to continue it. And even better news, all the proceeds are going to go to Enid Public Schools this year. So that's a win-win-win all across the board. And we're looking forward to working with them and hosting that on September 21st. And all good things. Good. All right. Moving on. Two more items for me. Item J, enrollment. We finished the year roughly about 75-15, which is down a little bit from where we started in August. We started August at 75-93. And it's also down a little bit from where we finished year last year. So this is something that the leadership team and I met on today. Is we've got to figure out where these kids are going. It's kind of ironic that our enrollment's down a little bit when we just graduated over 500 kids, the largest class we've had in many, many years. But we've started the process of trying to figure out what and if and where we are losing kids. But it's something that we're going to be digging a lot into this summertime. So just an FYI. And the last thing for me is just want to remind you that we'll start summer hours June, and we start those June 3rd through July 26th. So June 3rd through July 26th, our office will be 7:30 to 5, Monday through Thursday, with Fridays off for energy conservation, and then we'll kick back up on June 29th with normal hours. So that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any. What did I say? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Assistant principal, assistant superintendent, July, June. It's sorry. That's right. Thank
you, Ms. Turnbull. Thank you, Dr. Darrow. That takes us to item 4, regular business. A, discussion of possible action to approve the following consent agenda items. We can take item 1 through 13 there. So move. So Matt Lohman for motion, Joe Blackwood for second. We'll vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes. Takes us to item B, discussion and possible action to approve the district financial report for April 2024. Sam?
So the finances for April are once again looking really well. One of the things that just kind of bring to everybody's attention again, gross production is still down, even though the price per barrel of oil is on the uptick. We're just over, it takes about 3 months for that to actually catch up with collections. The other thing is interest. If you really look at the detail on where are we at on generating interest with some of our funds that we have in the bank, is that a lot of that interest really will not come into us until the end of June because of how we invested that into CDs and treasuries. So whenever we have our July meeting, which is the final budget numbers for the year, you'll kind of see a little bit of an uptick there on the revenue side. We are coming to the end of our expenditure side now that school is out. So May we'll have a few more expenditures, but really as we go into June, most of that's already played out with where we're at, and we're already well on our way to what we call summer projects, which are painting, furniture, those kind of things that we can't necessarily do while the school year is going on. But like when we met back in May, most of those encumbrances have already been put into place. So we're really in good fiscal financial shape for this time of year especially, barring no big emergencies like this morning when Waller had no water. And so there's always that possibility something like that come up and we have an unknown expenditure, but let's just hope those things stay away, and hopefully we're not having any insurance claims over hail damage, and that again, that could be an expenditure that's unforeseen at this point in time. So everything's looking really good, just need a motion for approval.
Okay. Joe Blackwood?
Second.
Second, Tori Turnbow. We'll vote. Matt Loman?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Ray Long?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Okay, takes us to C, discussion and possible action to approve fiscal year 2025 temporary appropriations as provided by EPS Auditor Pat Carroll of Chaz W. Carroll, PA.
So every year we have to do a temporary appropriation so we can start doing business, which means spending money, before we actually do our estimate of needs in September. So the temporary appropriations based on 85% of our appropriation for FY24. The appropriation that we're approving today are for the general fund, the building fund, and 3 of our bond funds. The bond funds are not the bonds that we just sold. These are bond funds that we already have in place. There is no reason for expenditure out of those funds, but we're going to go ahead and approve a temporary appropriation on those just in case there's some unforeseen reason that we need to have that appropriation ready to go prior to getting all of that in July. So for the general fund, our temporary appropriation is going to be $87,960,075, and for the building fund is going to be $4,048,569. Fund 31 is $53,901. Fund 38 is $355,337, and Fund 39 is $263,317. And I just want to remind everybody that those bond funds, Fund 31 was established in 2016 to kind of kickstart the architectural process for 2016. Those are residual dollars that have been left in there, mostly interest money. We kind of just sit on it on a just-in-case basis, not too much to work with. Overall, $53,000. However, Fund 38 and 39, why somebody might say, wow, you have over $500,000 there, that's really money that we use to pay back the Garfield County for the money that they gave us in 2010, and then again in 2016. That money gets used to pay that, and the government pulled back some of the interest that they were covering for us on the 2010 bond funds, and so we sometimes have to go to this money to cover that interest that has been pulled back by the federal government some years ago through a process called sequestration. So anyways, just kind of putting that out there. I don't want anybody to get false hopes that, wow, the district's got an extra $500,000 sitting out there. It's really kind of already spoken for. So.
Yep, we need a motion to approve. Randy Long, Joe with the second. We'll vote. Matt Loman?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes. Takes us to D, discussion and possible action to approve workers' compensation coverage for fiscal year 25.
All right, so you have a big handout at your front, kind of on this big paper. The line that we want to look at that's really important is the very top line. It says EPS workers' compensation FY25, because that is what we're approving. So starting over there on the left, I know it says total savings from FY24, but you'll notice those numbers are negative and they're in red, so there's really not a savings this year. So our current cost that we're spending with LUBA FY24 is $281,596. We have a quote from OSAG, which we have used before for workers' compensation at $419,659, and our current workers' comp provider, which is LUBA, quotes provided by Bank First of $460,587. You can see the difference in those two. OSAG is going to be a $138,000 increase. LUBA would be a $178,000 increase. My recommendation is that we go with OSAG. They are the lower of the two, a $40,000 savings to the district over using LUBA. I want to, before we take any action or have any questions, go down to the bottom of the page, and I just want to kind of show you a little bit of a 3-year history that's at the bottom that kind of shows why our premium is on the increase. And so we've earned premium by LUBA. We have paid them $885,000, $885,225. We've incurred losses of $1,350,512. So as you know, if you're spending more than you're bringing in, you're going to have to raise rates, which is where we're at. One thing I will say is that our workers' comp claim numbers are not on the increase. The cost of the claims is on the increase. And part of that's a twofold issue, is that we've had more severe injuries on the workplace, and the other cost is medical care has just increased. So you're having to pay for those increases that we've seen in the medical industry. And so that's just to give justification on why the premium is going up. That's really what it stems from. And just grateful to have OSAG, and Mr. Bill Beckman is here if we have any questions that you might want to ask of him that I can't answer. So this is my recommendation that we go with OSAG. It is the lower of the quotes. And just so you guys do know that Bank First actually quotes this out to several companies, and we had 3 quotes come back, and this was the lowest of those 3. So there was no reason to entertain you guys with other quotes, but we had quotes as high as $600,000 on this. So we're very thankful to have this opportunity from OSAG.
Dr. Robinson, I have a question. You said our incidents are getting more severe, or I don't remember the term you used, but what are we doing to prevent our workers' comp accidents?
Well, that's one of the things that we've done a lot with safety and kind of employee awareness, so to speak. So that's why I think we've actually cut down our number of incidents. Mm-hmm. It's just that, as you guys know, some of the issues we've had this year, that they cost more money because of the severity of the accidents that have happened in the workplace. And so we had a couple of cases that were actually reopened this year that reflected back on the previous year. And that's way beyond my scope of understanding. It's really an attorney kind of issue. They're in litigation. And so once not to speak down on anything that's happening, but once you go to that level, there are certain things put into place, my understanding, in our work comp, that all of a sudden it gets a settlement number tied to it. And so while we maybe have not actually paid out that $700,000 in 23, there's a settlement number that's been put on there, and that number is impacting what's called incurred losses, because it's still a possibility of losing that money through litigation.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Motion to approve the OSAG quote.
Okay, so we have Matt Lohman with the motion and Joe Blackwood with the second. All right, we'll vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes. Okay, that takes us to item 5, new business. Any new business?
I don't have any new business, and Colonel Little's not here, obviously, this evening, but I've been in a little bit of denial. Becky, this is her last board meeting with us.
Talking about the minutes. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say this is Becky's last board meeting with us. This is her family moves back to New Jersey, and I just said I was in denial. And
every day I get, are you really leaving?
Well, can we acknowledge that her family was here earlier, and you're in such denial you didn't even do this while they were here to hear you?
No, know if it was my fault.
We didn't tell you.
Yeah. Well, from the leadership team and from the board, thank you. And we're going to have a little get-together on June 6th and working out the details on that too. But you've done a great job. I'm going to miss you for sure. You bet.
Bittersweet. You'll be missed.
All right, that takes us to item 6. Colonel Little's not here. Is there any comments or questions from the board? Okay, seeing none. Item 7, next board meeting is June 17th at 6 p.m. right here, this location. Item 8, discussion and possible action to approve proposed executive session in conference room 123 to discuss the employment of those individuals and/or positions listed on the attachment B and the possible purchase or appraisal of real property.
So moved. Second. Yes.
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 7:05, Chad? 7:05?
Yeah. Hey, no. Appreciate it. Yeah.